With a population of over 150 million citizens, publishing less than 3,000 books a year might seem to confirm the assumption that Nigerians do not enjoy reading. However, one man seeks to disprove this myth, and today we'll be meeting him to talk about his vision for a well-read Nigeria. His name is Okechukwu Ofili, and his app Okada Books, at only 4 years old, has seen over 100,000 downloads, with 11,000 books to be read, all available in the palm of your hand. We caught up with him at Quintessence Gallery, and this was what he had to say.
So my name is Okechukwu Ofili. I graduated from the University of Houston. I'm from Delta State. I'm a practicing mechanical engineer. I'm the founder of Okada Books, and I've authored 4 books, namely How Stupidity Saved My Life, How Laziness Saved My Life, How Intelligence Kills, and my latest, Afro, the Girl with the Magic Bowl. The idea for Okada Books came about based on my frustration in the Nigerian book distribution industry. I'd written a book, How Stupidity Saved My Life. It was a struggle to get it into bookstores, and even after I put it into bookstores, it was a struggle for me to get my money out after the book had sold. I had up to like 1.5 million naira worth of book sales, and it was difficult to get the money. So much so I had to do a social media campaign, XYZ bookstore, hashtag, pay me my money. Eventually the bookstore called me into their office and paid me the money they owed me. And after that experience, I had a better way to do things, a simpler way to distribute books in Nigeria. And that's when I started thinking about putting books in mobile devices. And if you put books in mobile devices, everybody has access to it. It's easy to get it in there. You don't have to deal with storage costs, transportation costs, but most importantly, when your money is due, you have visibility of it, you see it immediately, you see it instantly, and you can collect your money immediately. So that's what we wanted to do with Okada Books, and it was really born out of my frustration with the Nigerian book distribution network. For us at Okada Books Limited, we believe that there is a traffic jam in publishing in Nigeria. The traffic jam occurs when you try and publish a book. The traffic jam occurs when you try and distribute the book. The traffic jam occurs when you try and collect the money you've made from the books you've sold. And so for us, we see ourselves as that Okada bike that you see when you're in traffic. And Lagos traffic, Port Harcourt traffic that weaves through the roads or goes through different paths that the cars can pass through. And for us, we see ourselves representing the authors, carrying authors through the traffic jams they face in publishing, distributing, and collecting their money. And our job is to act like Okada Books, like Okadas, and get people from their destination, from A to B, as cheaply and fast as possible without getting them stuck in traffic. $1 billion. Success for Okada Books, kind of like what I said. Okada Books will know that we are successful when we start getting diversity in the books we read in Nigeria. For far too long, most of the books we see in bookstores are the Chinua Achebe, set in a village, Chimamanda Adichie, set in a village type books. And I think that we can write different types of books. Success would be having Nigerian science fiction books. Success would be having comics with Nigerian superheroes. Success would be someone like Musa Ajayi, who is our top seller on Okada Books, who sells fruits in the northern part of Nigeria, writes erotic novels, and writes it in Hausa language. That is success to us. Because ordinarily, someone like Musa Ajayi would never have been discovered under the normal publishing system in Nigeria, because the publishers would just overlook him. And for us, because of the way we are set up and because of our concern in finding that authentic story, we're able to find people like Musa Ajayi. So success would be finding more and more people like that, and just changing the Nigerian story and telling the world that we have different types of books out there and not just the singular story we hear all the time.
After our chat with Mr. Ofili, we decided to take it to the streets to find out what other stakeholders in the literary industry had to say about the app.
My name is Ejiro Loretta Eba. I'm a graduate of accounting from Caleb University, Lagos. I am an investment banker I'm a book blogger actually, and I'm a freelance writer. I write for a couple of websites and things like that. Okada Books has been very useful. I have seen books that I would normally have not seen in bookstores. I've seen authors I've never come across, young authors, aspiring writers, and because of its cheap price, I would say it's easier to just pick a copy, read, and it's very enlightening generally. Honestly, I'm quite old school, so I prefer paperbacks. However, because we're usually with our phones and laptops more often than we have time to read books, it's easier to read an ebook. It's easily accessible. Of course, the prices are way different. And as younger readers, as the new generation readers, they prefer to use their money to buy, much more important stuff than books. So having it quite cheap makes it easier for you to get through to them.
One of the big challenges everybody faces is, of course, capital. The usual hustle of working in Nigeria. You have a developer, there's no light, or there's no fuel, and just the difficulties. You go and see somebody and they tell you the manager is not here, come back, and you do it 2-3 times, and it's just quite draining. But with the challenges, we've had to get around them, intelligently. Like before, we used to think we could get all these big publishers in Nigeria to convince them to put their books on Okada Books, but we found out that a lot of those publishers are stuck in the way they were doing it in the past, and they don't want to change. So instead of trying to force them to change, or instead of trying to fight them to change, we decided to just focus on upcoming publishers, upcoming authors, the people that are blogging or writing all these beautiful series for free, and convince them to put their books on Okada Books. And that strategy has gotten us a lot of traction. We have 11,000 plus books on our platform. People have downloaded over 750,000 times books on the platform. We have over 100,000 users, 100,000 unique downloads on the Android store. We're working on an iOS app, so
Try it as we may, booksellers and publishers won't grant us an audience, possibly because Okada Book poses an existential threat to their business. But we're able to get a book distributor to get a side of the story.
My name is Akela Odunuka. I'm a published author and a book manager. So I have written from Chapter Champion and The Legendary Warrior Mindset. The Nigerian book scene is a very interesting one. I must say that I'd speak from experience, especially for most of us who grew up liking books. We had some very good bookstores in the past, and we had thought it would continue like that. But growing up to and taking over, working as a book manager, and having interaction with different bookstores, it has really not been the best. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but it's the reality right now. You expect that if you do business with a particular bookstore, you want to get your money back, or you want at least as much information as possible from time to time. But it's not that way. It's a bit frustrating right now in the industry, and I just think it could be much better. Yes, I believe ebooks like the next forte, because they're already here, and I think they can actually gather up steam, considering the number of gadgets in the hands of Nigerians, in the hands of young Nigerians who are the very early adopters, and who are those who get to jump on new technology and new innovations quite quickly. So I believe that ebooks would actually do well in a place like Nigeria, where we have lots of gadgets everywhere. So ebooks could do well. And I must add that it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the end of hard copies. It's just that we need to find a way of handling distribution better. They have to be more responsible and more responsive I think because
In the Igbo region of Nigeria, there's a saying that before one makes medicine for the madman, it must first ask him if he is willing to be treated. In this case, the madman would be the writers. It only seemed right to ask the published writer what the emergence of such technology meant to him. Okechukwu Ofili's dream to see a better read Nigeria is without a doubt already on its way to actualization.
My name is William Moore, and I am a writer and author of the novel Lonely Roads. And yeah, it's pretty much it. I'm a thing that writes. Using Okada Books has been really good for me because I have my novel is on it, and I also have a collection of short stories on it. And like say for the novel, it's easier to get publishers for that. But for something like a collection of short stories, you know, you might need to be like a big name writer, or you know, for someone to buy into letting you publish that. But I've been able to have, I think, close to 200 downloads already on that, and this is like almost no marketing. So I think the platform is great, and I can imagine for upcoming writers, you know, that are wondering, you know, where are you, how would you get your work out there in its complete form?
But much like mothers, an entrepreneur's work is never done. We'll wait patiently for the launch of Okada Books on the iOS platform.
The publishing industry in Nigeria is, let's just say, it's a lot worse than I imagined it would be. You know, it's, you know, one thing is getting published in the first place. You know, because they wouldn't, most houses wouldn't take books just because they are afraid it wouldn't sell. And then if they do take it, then the distribution is a whole nother like kettle of fish. Then if you do get the distribution and actually getting your money back from the shops is like another battle. So the idea of kind of centralizing those things by using technology, I think is a great idea. Obviously, I would miss you know, the idea of people holding your book physically, but in our current, you know, climate, it's the least we can ask for is at least to be able to get our books out and get our money back. Obviously, like I'm a huge fan of paper and all that, but I think I would accept defeat that ebook is here to stay. It's easier to carry around, it's cheaper to buy. It just makes more sense, really, you know. And I think with, you know, young people getting more technology savvy, the distribution problems, it's a no-brainer. I think ebooks are definitely going to carry the day. I actually had the pleasure of meeting Okechukwu Ofili. I think I met him at the Farafina workshop event, and he was a brilliant guy. And I think what he's doing kind of goes to show, you know, that, and he's a writer as well who was having the same kind of like problem with distribution and stuff. I think with the kind of economy we have, there is almost a pressure for everyone to be some sort of entrepreneur. Like, you know, you have to have something you're doing. And, you know, young people ironically can actually see the future because they almost live in it. So, you know, I really think young people out there have almost like a duty and a responsibility to be the entrepreneurial spearhead. You can't be waiting for, you know, like older people that don't really know where the future is going to kind of decide, you know, oh, this is the business you want to go into. Innovation is, in any country you go to, innovation has always been a young people thing. So,
for aspiring entrepreneurs, one thing I would say is keep it simple. There's a book I read and I call it the Bible for Okada Books. It's written by Eric Rice. It's called The Lean Startup. And in that book, he talks about a concept called MVP, which is your minimum viable product. So as an entrepreneur, what you want to do is that if you have an idea and you think it's the best thing since sliced bread, is don't spend thousands or millions on the idea, building it out. What you should do is you should create an MVP, minimum viable product, that you can take to the market with little money and validate your idea. And once your idea is validated, then you can start pouring in money to scale it up. But what a lot of people do is that they come up with an idea, they don't test the idea, they start renting out offices, they start hiring staff, and then they start working on it, and by the time they spend so much money, so much capital, and they've grown so big that when they realize that their idea doesn't work, they are so big that they cannot move or navigate out of it. So my biggest advice to upcoming entrepreneurs is keep it simple, stay humble, create MVP products. Okada Books, where we are right now, we don't have an office, and that's how simple we are.
If you aren't already on Okada Books, as the slang saying goes, you're on a bicycle.